Welcome you all to the paper project organized by GMSA 24. In this video, I'm going to discuss the multiple choice questions of the biology paper. So if you haven't done the paper, please do it before watching this discussion. Question number 1. It is based on the first lesson. The correct statements are: few non-living entities show one or more living characteristics. Statement A is wrong because many non-living entities, not few. Alright, so many non-living entities show one or more living characteristics, but not all the characteristics. Therefore, statement A is wrong. B. From molecular level to biosphere, there is an order and organization in organisms. That's true. From molecules up to the biosphere, there is a hierarchical order. Molecules, then organelles, cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, then organisms, then the populations, communities, ecosystem, and then finally the biosphere. So therefore, statement B is true. C. All organisms begin their life as a single cell. That is correct. D. Growth and development are two consequent actions that happen in the lifespan of organisms. Statement D is wrong because growth and development are not two consequent actions. They are two consequent processes that happen in the lifespan of organisms. So accordingly, only statements B and C are true. Therefore, the correct answer is the second one. Let's move to the second question. It is based on the second lesson. Consider following statements about the main organic compounds of organisms. A. Amylopectin is a branched form of polysaccharide. So based on the architecture, we can categorize polysaccharides mainly into two types. They are the linear forms and the branch forms. So examples for linear forms are cellulose and amylose. And examples for branch form are glycogen, amylopectin, and hemicellulose. So amylopectin is a branch form of polysaccharide. Therefore, statement A is correct. B. Inulin stores sucrose as energy source in Dahlia tuberous. Statement B is wrong because inulin stores fructose as energy source in Dahlia tuberous. C. Keratin is present as a component in the cell walls of fungi and in exoskeleton of arthropods. C is incorrect because chitin is present, not keratin. Alright, chitin is present as a component in the cell walls of fungi and in exoskeleton of arthropods. Keratin is a protein specially found in hairs. D. Consumption of excess saturated fats and trans-unsaturated fats contribute to atherosclerosis. D is correct. So they are asking for the incorrect statements. So A and D are correct and B and C are the incorrect statements. So then the correct answer is the second one. Question number 3. It is based on the second lesson. Below are some steps of the experiment conducted to identify non-reducing sugars. A. Neutralize the medium with sodium bicarbonate. B. Add a few amount of the Benedict solution and boil. C. Add dilute HCl and boil. The correct order of the above steps is. So in the experiment conducted to identify non-reducing sugars, first we should add 2 cubic centimeters of sucrose solution to 1 cubic centimeter of dilute HCl and boil for 1 minute. Then, as the medium is acidic due to addition of dilute HCl, we should neutralize it with sodium bicarbonate and check with pH paper. And finally, we should add an equal volume of Benedict solution and shake and bring to boil. So accordingly, the correct order will be C, A, and B. So the correct answer is the fourth. Question number 4. It is also based on the second lesson. The correct statement about subcellular components is number 1, lysosomes. Enzymes in it catalyze the breakdown of H2O2. The statement 1 is wrong because enzymes in lysosomes doesn't catalyze the breakdown of H2O2. The enzymes in peroxisomes catalyze the breakdown of H2O2. The enzymes in lysosomes catalyze the breakdown of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Statement 2. Chloroplast. Circular DNA, 70S ribosomes, many enzymes, phosphate granules, and lipid droplets are present in the stroma. The statement 2 is also wrong because phosphate granules are not present in the chloroplast. They are present in the mitochondrial matrix. Starch granules are present in the chloroplast. Therefore, statement 2 is wrong. 3. Glycosomes convert amino acids into sugar. Statement 3 is also wrong because glycosomes converts fatty acids into sugar. 4. Rough endoplasmic reticulum produce transport vesicles. That's true. 5th one, Golgi apparatus produce peroxisomes. It's also wrong because the Golgi apparatus doesn't produce peroxisomes, it produces lysosomes. So accordingly, the correct statement is the 4th one. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 5. It is also based on the second lesson. Given below are some steps of meiosis. A. Crossing over takes place. B. Formation of chromosomes with two sister chromatids. C. Genetically non-identical haploid two daughter nuclei formed within one cell. D. Sister chromatids move towards opposite poles. E. Homologous chromosomes arranged randomly at metaphase plane. The correct order of the above steps is. So let's see one by one. A. Crossing over takes place. So the crossing over takes place during prophase 1. B. Formation of chromosomes with two sister chromatids. So it occurs during prophase 2. C. Genetically non-identical haploid two daughter nuclei are formed within one cell. It occurs during telophase 1. D. Sister chromatids move towards opposite poles. It occurs during anaphase 2. During anaphase 1, homologous chromosomes move towards opposite poles, but during anaphase 2, sister chromatids move towards opposite poles. E. Homologous chromosomes arrange randomly at metaphase plane. So it occurs during metaphase 1. So the correct order will be prophase 1, metaphase 1, telophase 1, prophase 2, and anaphase 2. So accordingly, the correct order is A, E, C, B, and D. So therefore, the correct answer is 3. Question number 6. It is based on lesson 2. The correct statement regarding tumor, cancer, and goals is 1. Cancer cells always do not respond to the body's control mechanism. Statement 1 is false because cancer cells do not respond normally to the body's control mechanism. 2. Cancer cells do not need growth factors at all. No. Cancer cells may make required growth factors themselves or giving signals to continue cell cycle without growth factors. Therefore, cancer cells may sometimes make required growth factors themselves. So therefore, statement 2 is wrong. 3. The plant cell differentiation is controlled by hormones such as auxins and cytokinins. That's false because the plant cell division is controlled by hormones such as auxins and cytokinins. 4. When forming galls, plant cells produce undifferentiated mass of cells. That's correct. So when galls are formed, undifferentiated mass of cells are produced in plant cells. 5. most of the malignant tumors can be completely removed by a surgery. That's false because most of the benign tumors can be completely removed by a surgery, not malignant tumors. Malignant tumors are difficult to remove. So therefore, the correct answer is the fourth one. Question number 7. It is based on the third lesson. The correct one from the below statements is 1. RNA molecules which acted as early enzymes did not have the ability to replicate. No. RNA molecules acted as early genes and enzymes, but they had the ability to replicate. Therefore, statement 1 is wrong. 2. Lipids contributed to the growth of protocell. That's correct. Growth of the protocell occurred by addition of lipids to the membrane by collision of vesicles. Therefore, lipids contributed to the growth of the protocell. Statement 3. Crustaceans were the first group of animals to colonize the land. No, the crustaceans weren't the first group to colonize the land. Insects and spiders, who are arthropods, were the first group of animals to colonize the land. Therefore, statement 3 is wrong. The first Earth atmosphere was an oxidizing one. No, the first atmosphere was a reducing one. Therefore, fourth statement is wrong. At present, the diversity of prokaryotes is higher than eukaryotes. No, the ability of eukaryotes to evolve is higher than that for prokaryotes. Therefore, at present, the diversity of eukaryotes is higher than the prokaryotes. Therefore, statement 5 is wrong. So, accordingly, the correct statement was the second one. So, the correct answer is 2. Question number 8. It is based on the third lesson. The correct statement or statements regarding artificial classification is or are. A. Evolutionary relationships are considered. No. In artificial classification, we doesn't consider the evolutionary relationships. In natural classification, we consider the evolution relationships. Therefore, A is wrong. B. Based on many characteristics. No, artificial classification is not based on many characteristics. So therefore, B is wrong. C. Easy to use. Yeah, artificial classification is very easy to use. Therefore, C is correct regarding artificial classification. D. Developed after the study of evolution. No, artificial classification is not developed after the study of evolution, but natural classification is developed after the study of evolution. Therefore, only C is correct regarding artificial classification. Therefore, the correct answer is 3. Question number 9 is based on the third lesson. The incorrect statement about binomial nomenclature is 1. It is a system accepted word. Yes, binomial nomenclature is a system accepted word. Therefore, number 1 is correct. 2. Is made up of Romanized words. No. According to binomial nomenclature, the name of an organism is made up of Latinized words, which is written in the Roman script. Therefore, statement 2 is wrong. 3. Is a combination of generic name and specific epithet. Yes, according to binomial nomenclature, the name of an organism has two parts. The first is the generic name, and the second is the specific epithet. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. Only the first letter of generic name is capitalized. Yes, only the first letter of the generic name must be capitalized, and all the rest must be in simple letters. Therefore, 4 is also correct. 5. A third word can be used to represent a subspecies or a variety. Yes, for example, we can take Panthera pardus cotia. So the word cotia is used to represent a subspecies. Therefore, as they are asking for the incorrect statement is number 2. Therefore, the correct answer is 2. Question number 10. It is also based on the third lesson. The incorrect one from the below combinations is number 1. Ernest Haeckel introduced the kingdom Pratista. Yes, Ernest Haeckel was the one who introduced the kingdom Pratista as well as the taxon phylum. So therefore 1 is correct. 2. Linnaeus classification of flowering plants. Yes, Carolus Linnaeus classified flowering plants based on the number of stamens and styles of flower. Therefore 2 is correct. 3. Theophrastus classification of plants according to habit. Yes, Theophrastus, who is the pupil of Aristotle, classified plants according to habit as well as according to lifespan. Therefore, statement 3 is also correct. 4. Aristotle introduced plant and animal kingdom. No, Aristotle didn't introduce the plant and animal kingdom. He divided organisms into plants and animals. The one who introduced plant and animal kingdom was Carolus Linnaeus. Therefore, statement 4 is wrong. 5. Carl Woese introduced the three-domain classification system. Yes, Carl Woese was the one who introduced the three-domain classification system, while the five-kingdom classification system was introduced by Robert H. Whittaker. Therefore, the incorrect statement is the fourth one. Therefore, the correct answer is 4. Question number 11. It is also based on the third lesson. The correct order of organisms with contractile vacuoles, foot vacuoles, and ice pot, respectively. So you can study this. Contractile vacuoles are present in all the three protists, Euglena, Paramecium, and Amoeba. But foot vacuoles are only present in Paramecium and Amoeba because they are heterotrophs. But foot vacuoles are absent in Euglena. That's because they are mixotrophs. And ice pots are unique to Euglena. Therefore, accordingly, the correct answer is amoeba, paramecium, and Euglena. Therefore, the correct answer is 5. Question number 12. It is based on the fourth lesson. The correct statement regarding plant cells is 1. Meristematic cells have a thin cytoplasm. No, meristematic cells have a dense cytoplasm. They doesn't have a thin cytoplasm. Therefore, statement 1 is false. Guard cells do not have chloroplast. No, guard cells do have chloroplast. Therefore, statement 2 is also false. Collenchyma cells are found just below the epidermis of young stems. Yes, young stems and petioles often have strands of collenchyma cells just below the epidermis. They give mechanical support for the young stems and leaves. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. Sclerids become living cells at functional maturity. No, sclerids is a type of sclerenchyma cells that become dead cells at functional maturity. Therefore, statement 4 is false. 5. Tracheids are present only in vascular plants. No, tracheids are present in all the vascular plants. That means both the seed and seedless vascular plants. Therefore, statement 5 is also false. So accordingly, the correct statement is 3. Therefore, the correct answer is the third one. Question number 13. It is based on the fourth lesson. The incorrect statement regarding water potential is any system that contains water has a water potential. Yes, that's true. A system that contains water has a water potential. Okay. 2. If a cell is placed in pure water, there won't be a water movement after a considerable period of time is passed. Let's see this. What happens when a cell is placed in pure water? The water potential of the cell is less than 0 megapascal as solutes are dissolved in the cell. And the water potential of pure water is 0 megapascal. So the water potential of the cell is less than that of pure water. Therefore, water enters the cell by osmosis along the water potential gradient until the water potential of the cell becomes equal to the water potential of pure water, that is 0 megapascal. Then a dynamic equilibrium is formed and there is no further net movement of water. So definitely there is a water movement, but there is no net movement of water. Therefore, statement 2 is false. Turgor pressure contributes directly or indirectly for the support of woody as well as non-woody plants. Yes, definitely. In non-woody plants, turgor pressure is really important for their support, and even in woody plants for the support of young parts of the plant and even the leaves, turgor pressure is really important. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. There can be both positive and negative pressure potentials in some plant tissues which mainly contain dead cells. Yes, as you all know, pressure potential of a xylem vessel is usually less than -2 megapascal as xylem vessels are under tension. So pressure potential can be positive or negative in some plant tissues which mainly contains dead cells. So therefore, statement 4 is true. 5. Water potential is related to potential energy of water molecules. Yes, that's also correct. Therefore, the false statement was the second one. Therefore, the correct answer is 2. Question number 14. It is based on the fourth lesson. The incorrect statement is energy is not needed for the upward movement of water in xylem. That's true. Movement of water through xylem occurs by bulk flow. Bulk flow is a type of passive transport mechanism. So therefore, passive transport mechanism doesn't require energy. Therefore, the first statement is correct. 2. Weak bonds formed between water molecules and xylem vessel walls helps to maintain a water column within the xylem. That's true. Due to high adhesion, water molecules are attracted to cellulose molecules in the xylem walls. These are weak intermolecular attractions. These bonds help to form a continuous water column within the xylem. Therefore, statement 2 is true. Guttation is observed when root pressure is higher than transpiration pull. Yes, it's true. We can observe guttation mainly during the night time when the transpiration rate is very low or nearly zero. Therefore, for the guttation to occur, the root pressure must exceed the transpiration pull. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. Sugar source is a sugar producing organ. Yes, sugar source is an organ that is a net producer of sugar by photosynthesis or by breakdown of starch. Therefore, statement 4 is correct. 5. During the phloem unloading, sugar movement towards the sink as well as water movement towards the xylem from phloem occurs through osmosis. So here in this statement, only one part of the statement is correct and the other part is wrong. Here, during the phloem unloading, sugar movement towards the sink occurs by diffusion, not by osmosis, because at the sink, the concentration of sugar is less, and in the phloem, the concentration of sugar is high. Therefore, the sugar movement occurs by diffusion. But the water movement towards the xylem from phloem occurs through osmosis. That's correct. So the fifth statement is wrong. Therefore, the correct answer is 5. Question number 15. It is based on the fourth lesson. The incorrect statement is first one, xylem vessels are absent in softwood. Yeah, that's true. Xylem vessels are present only in hardwood and it is absent in softwood. 2. In dicot plants, cortex of root is wider than the cortex of stem. So you can see in this diagram, this is the cross section of a primary dicot stem, and this is the cross section of a primary dicot root. So here you can see the cortex of the root is wider than the cortex of the stem. That's because the stem have a pith, but the root doesn't have a pith. Therefore, statement 2 is correct. 3. A Vernania stem section stained with aniline sulfate can be used to examine secondary vascular tissues. Yes, that's true. So you can see in the practical handbook under the practical number 18, they have given the plants that can be used to examine the secondary vascular tissue of stem using aniline sulfate solution. So they have given three plants, Starchita peta, Vernonia, and Helianthus. So Vernonia can be used to examine secondary vascular tissues by staining with aniline sulfate. Therefore, statement 3 is true. With time, the cork cambium breaks and a new cork cambium is formed from the outside of it. That's wrong because with time the cork cambium breaks, but a new cork cambium is formed from inside of it. 5. Many parenchyma cells are totipotent. That's true. What is totipotent? Totipotent means a single cell has the genetic program to grow into an entire new plant. So this ability makes it possible to multiply and differentiate cells even from a single parenchyma cell in tissue culture practices. Therefore, the incorrect statement was the fourth one. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 16. It is based on the fourth lesson. The correct statement is in Nephrolepis gametophyte, rhizoids develop on the ventral side and antheridium develop on the dorsal side. That is false. In the Nephrolepis gametophyte, definitely rhizoids develop on the ventral side. But the gametangium, that means the antheridium and the archegonia, also develop on the ventral side. Therefore, statement 1 is false. The second one, all the development stages of the young sporophyte of both Pogonatum and Nephrolepis are nourished by the gametophyte. That's true. When we consider Pogonatum and Nephrolepis, their young sporophyte is nourished by the gametophyte, all the development stages. Then the third one, when the genetic content of the ovum is duplicated during parthenogenesis, always fertile seeds are developed without fertilization. That's false because sometimes during parthenogenesis, infertile seeds can be developed. Therefore, 3 is wrong. 4. If a flower has not been pollinated, only the petals will fall away. No. When a flower has not been pollinated, a fruit does not develop and the entire flower falls away. So therefore, statement 4 is also false. Statement 5. The forest canopy absorbs more far-red light, allowing only red light to pass through to the trees below the canopy. That's false. It should be the other way around. The forest canopy absorbs more red light, allowing only far-red light to pass through to the trees below the canopy. Therefore, the correct answer, the correct statement is the second one. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 17. It is based on lesson 4. In a plant, wilting of leaves, drying of leaf tips, and death of leaf tips were observed as deficiency symptoms. Which of the following is most likely to be deficient in the plant? So this table is regarding how the deficiency in elements affect the leaves. So when we consider the wilting of leaves, here you can see wilting and leaf mottling. That is due to the deficiency in chlorine. So then the drying of leaf tips. The drying of leaf tips and the death of leaf tips are two different things. So here you can see the drying of leaf tips is due to deficiency in copper and the death of leaf tips is due to deficiency in nickel. So therefore, the deficient elements will be chlorine, copper, and nickel. So as they are not asking the correct order, uh, as they are not asking in the correct order, so the correct answer is the second one. Question number 18. It is based on the fifth lesson. The correct statement regarding the general connective tissue of the body is. So, what is the general connective tissue of the body? It is the loose connective tissue or the areolar tissue. So, the first statement, it contains three major types of cells. No, the loose connective tissue has five types of cells: fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cells, leukocytes, and fat cells. Therefore, statement 1 is false. 2. Densely packed with collagen fibers. No, the loose connective tissue is not densely packed with collagen fibers. The fibers are loosely arranged and wavy in nature. The fibrous connective tissue is densely packed with collagen fibers. Or the dense connective tissue is densely packed with collagen fibers. Therefore, statement 2 is false. 3. Contains fat cells with large fat droplets. Yes, that's true. The loose connective tissue has fat cells, and the fat cells have large fat droplets. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. Found within human vertebral column. So, in the human vertebral column, the following tissues can be found. In the vertebrae, we can find the bone tissue, and in the intervertebral disc, the cartilage tissue is found, and in tendons attaching muscles to vertebrae, the dense connective tissue can be found. But the loose connective tissue is not present within the human vertebral column. Therefore, statement 4 is false. 5. Unique only to mammals. No, the loose connective tissue is found in all vertebrates. Therefore, 5 is also wrong. So, the correct statement is the third one. So, the correct answer is 3. Question 19. It is based on lesson 5. The correct statement regarding regulation of digestion in man is 1. Digestion by nervous regulation starts within the stomach. That's false. Digestion by nervous regulation starts within the mouth itself. Nervous reflex stimulates the release of saliva when the food reaches the mouth. So therefore, the first statement is false. 2. Secretion of gastrin is stimulated by the secretion of gastric juice to the stomach. No, that's false because the secretion of gastrin is stimulated due to the stretching of the stomach wall when food arrives the stomach. So the secretion of gastrin is not stimulated by the secretion of gastric juice to the stomach, but the vice versa is correct. That means the secretion of gastric juice is stimulated by gastrin. Therefore, the second statement is false. Third one, when the chyme is rich in fat, it inhibits gastric juice secretion. That's true. When the chyme is rich in fat or even in amino acids, uh, cholecystokinin and secretin are secreted from the duodenum. So then these hormones act on the stomach and it inhibits peristalsis and gastric juice secretion. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. 4. Peristalsis in the stomach is inhibited only by cholecystokinin. No, that's false. As I mentioned earlier, peristalsis in the stomach is inhibited by both cholecystokinin and secretin. 5. Cholecystokinin and secretin acts on the pancreas and stimulates the release of digestive enzymes. No, that's false because cholecystokinin and secretin acts on the pancreas, but the release of digestive enzymes is stimulated only by cholecystokinin, and secretin stimulates the release of bicarbonate ions from the pancreas. Therefore, statement 5 is false. So, the correct statement is the third one. So, the correct answer is 3. Question number 20. It is also based on lesson 5. Which of the following statements regarding the human respiratory system is false? 1. Surfactant reduces the surface tension of alveoli. Yeah, that's true. Surfactant reduces the surface tension, thereby preventing the collapse of alveoli due to high surface tension. Second one, larynx and trachea are entirely cartilaginous. No, that's false. Larynx and trachea are not entirely cartilaginous. The walls of the larynx and trachea are strengthened by cartilage, but they also contain other tissues that contribute to their overall structure and function. For example, in the larynx, there are vocal cords which are made up of largely elastic bands of muscle. So therefore, the second statement is wrong. 3. The partial pressure of carbon dioxide and partial pressure of oxygen of the blood leaving the alveoli and those in the alveolar air are equal. So you can see in this diagram, they have given the PO2 and PCO2 levels of the alveolar spaces here, and the PO2 and PCO2 levels of the blood leaving the alveolar are given here. So as you can see in the diagram, the PO2 and PCO2 levels in these situations are equal. Therefore, the third statement is correct. Fourth one, the PO2 and PCO2 in body tissues are lower and higher respectively than those in the systemic veins. So here they have given the PO2 and PCO2 levels of the body tissue here, and the PO2 and PCO2 levels of the systemic veins here. So as you can see, the PO2 level in the body tissue is less than 40. That means it is less than the value in the systemic veins, and the PCO2 level is greater than 45. That means the PCO2 level is higher than the value in the systemic veins. So therefore, the fourth statement is correct. 5. Nicotine in cigarette smoke temporarily increases the blood pressure. Yes, that's true. Nicotine is the addictive drug in cigarette smoke, and it temporarily increases the blood pressure. So the first statement was the second one. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 21. It is based on lesson 5. Select the response which gives the correct major excretory structure of the given animal group. So here they have given the animal group, and here they have given the major excretory structure. First one, mammals. Major excretory structure, sweat gland. That's false. Of course, sweat glands are only present in mammals, but the major excretory structure of mammals is the kidney. So therefore, the first statement is false. 2. Crustaceans, Malpighian tibias. No, that's false. The major excretory structure of crustaceans are green glands or antennal glands, while Malpighian tubules are present in terrestrial arthropods, for example, insects. So the second statement is false, and the third statement is also wrong because antennal glands are not present in insects. 4. Annelida metanephridia. Yes, that's true. Metanephridia is the major excretory structure of annelids. Metanephridia and nephridia both are the same thing, so the fourth statement is correct. Fifth statement, marine birds, salt glands. That's also false. Salt glands are present in marine birds and marine reptiles, but kidneys are the major excretory structure of all the vertebrates. So even in marine birds, the major excretory structure are the kidneys. So therefore, statement 5 is also false. So the correct statement is statement 4. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 22. It is also based on the fifth lesson. The correct statement regarding osmoregulation is 1. When there is an osmotic balance, the concentration of solids in blood and tissue fluid are equal. No, that's false because when there is an osmotic balance, the amount of water and concentration of solids is same inside and outside of the cells, not in the blood and the tissue fluid. So it should be within the cells and the tissue fluid. So therefore, the statement 1 is false. 2. Blood water homeostasis is controlled by the medulla oblongata. That's false because blood-water homeostasis is controlled by hypothalamus. 3. ADH is released when blood osmolarity is increased. That's true. So when the blood osmolarity is increased, in order to reduce the blood osmolarity, ADH is secreted from the posterior pituitary. So therefore, third statement is correct. Then what happens to this ADH secreted from the posterior pituitary? How does it decreases the blood osmolarity? So this ADH acts on kidney tubules, stimulating the reabsorption of water through distal convoluted tubules of nephrons and collecting ducts, producing concentrated urine. So in the fourth statement, they have given ADH acts on kidney tubules and produces diluted urine. That's wrong because it produces concentrated urine as water is reabsorbed from the kidney tubules. So fourth statement is wrong. Fifth one, renin enzyme contributes to the osmoregulation. That's wrong. Renin, there is a double N here, is an enzyme present in the stomach of newborn infants that helps in coagulation of milk. So, but renin, there is only one N here, is an enzyme secreted by the kidneys that contributes to osmoregulation. So, the renin enzyme doesn't contribute to the osmoregulation, but renin enzyme contributes to the osmoregulation. Therefore, statement 5 is also false. So the correct statement was the third one. So the correct answer is 3. Question number 23. It is based on lesson 5. Select the incorrect statement regarding the central nervous system. 1. The cerebrospinal fluid helps to circulate nutrients and hormones. That's true because the cerebrospinal fluid helps to circulate nutrients and hormones as well as to remove waste products. 2. Cortex of the two cerebral hemispheres is divided into 4 lobes. That's false because the cortex of each cerebral hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes. Those are frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes. Therefore, there will be a total of 8 lobes, 4 from each hemisphere. Therefore, the second statement is false. Third one, thalamus consists of two masses comprising gray and white matter. That's correct. Thalamus has two masses comprising gray and white matter, like the cerebrum. So the fourth one, cerebellum helps in learning and remembering motor skills. That's true. Cerebellum helps in learning and remembering motor skills. Fifth one, cerebrum directs voluntary muscle movements while cerebellum coordinates voluntary muscle movements. That's also correct. Those are functions of cerebrum and cerebellum. Therefore, they are asking for the incorrect statement. So therefore, second one is the incorrect statement. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 24. It is based on the fifth lesson. What is the correct response regarding the autonomic nervous system? Number 1. Ganglia of the sympathetic system are found near the spinal cord, while the ganglia of the parasympathetic system are found near the organs. So in this diagram, you can see this is the parasympathetic division and this is the sympathetic division. So these are the sympathetic nerves and these are the parasympathetic nerves. So these are the ganglia of the sympathetic system and these are the ganglia of the parasympathetic system. So the sympathetic ganglia are found near the spinal cord and the parasympathetic ganglia are found near the organs. So therefore the first statement is correct. Second one, autonomic nerves arise from all areas of the spinal cord. When you look at this diagram, you can see the autonomic nerves doesn't arise from the cervical region. So therefore, the second statement is wrong. 3. All organs with the sympathetic nervous supply have parasympathetic nervous supply too. That is false because the adrenal medulla have only sympathetic nerves and it is not supplied with parasympathetic nerves. So during stress conditions or during the fight or flight reaction, the sympathetic nervous system is stimulated and therefore the adrenal medulla releases adrenaline. But the adrenal medulla is not supplied with parasympathetic nerves. So therefore the third statement is wrong. Fourth one, sympathetic system promotes emptying of the blood. No, the parasympathetic system promotes emptying of the blood. The sympathetic system inhibits emptying of the blood. Fifth one, parasympathetic system relaxes bronchi. Now, the parasympathetic system constricts the bronchi while the sympathetic system relaxes the bronchi. So, as when the sympathetic system is activated, more energy is needed, more oxygen is needed. Therefore, the sympathetic system relaxes the bronchi, thereby increasing the lumen of the bronchi and thereby increasing the intake of air. So therefore, the fifth statement is wrong. So the correct statement was the first one regarding the autonomic nervous system. So the correct answer is 1. Question number 25. It is based on the fifth lesson. Some steps regarding the transmission of nerve impulse through a chemical synapse are given below. Recapture of neurotransmitter into the presynaptic terminals, diffusion of calcium 2 plus into the presynaptic cell, diffusion of the neurotransmitters across the synaptic cleft and binding to the specific receptors in the postsynaptic cell membrane, depolarization of the plasma membrane of presynaptic cell by an action potential, depolarization of the postsynaptic membrane and reaching the action potential, binding of synaptic vesicles to the presynaptic membrane. So what is the correct order? So let's see what's the correct order is. So first of all, what should happen is the depolarization of the plasma membrane of the presynaptic cell by an action potential. Then that is D. D is the first one. After that, diffusion of calcium 2 plus into the presynaptic cell. So that is B. Then after the diffusion of calcium 2 plus into the presynaptic cell, binding of synaptic vesicles to the presynaptic membrane occurs. So that is F. And after that, diffusion of the neurotransmitters across the synaptic cleft and binding to the specific receptors in the postsynaptic cell membrane. So that is C. Then depolarization of the postsynaptic membrane and reaching the action potential, that is E. And finally, recapture of neurotransmitters into the presynaptic terminals, that is A. So the correct order is D, B, F, C, E, and A. So that is the second. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 26. It is also based on the fifth lesson. The correct statement regarding the human ear is: number 1, earwax is secreted by modified sweat glands. That is true. Earwax is secreted by modified sweat glands. Number 2, vestibule is discontinuous with semicircular canals. No, that is false because the vestibule is continuous with the 3 semicircular canals. 3. All hairs of the cochlear hair cells are in contact with the tectoral membrane. Now that is false because many hairs are in contact with the tectoral membrane. That means some hairs are not in contact with the tectoral membrane that hangs over the organ of Corti. Therefore, statement 3 is false. 4. Semicircular canals helps to identify when the head is tilted. No, that is also false because utricle and saccule, that means the vestibule, helps to identify when the head is tilted. Semicircular canals detect angular movements of the head. Therefore, statement 4 is false. 5. Otoliths are found within the chambers filled with perilymph. No, that is also false because otoliths are found within the utricle and saccule. Utricle and saccule are chambers filled with endolymph. Therefore, statement 5 is false. So the correct statement is the first one. So the correct answer is 1. Question number 27. It is based on the fifth lesson. Select the pair of pairs in which the increase of 1 contributes in increase of 2. X. 1. Aldosterone hormone secretion. 2. Blood pressure and volume. So what happens when the aldosterone hormone is secreted? The aldosterone hormone, which is secreted by the adrenal cortex, stimulates the reabsorption of sodium ions by the kidney tubules, which is accompanied by water retention, thereby increasing blood pressure and blood volume. That means when aldosterone hormone is increased, the blood pressure and blood volume is also increased. So therefore, X is correct. Why? 1. Secretion of inhibin. 2. Secretion of FSH. So the inhibin secreted by Sertoli cells act on the anterior pituitary gland to reduce FSH secretion through negative feedback mechanism. So that means when inhibin is increased, FSH is decreased. So therefore, Y is incorrect. Is said. 1. Stretching of uterine cervix. 2. Uterine contractions. So stretching of the uterine cervix stimulates its stretch receptors. In response to stimulation of stretch receptors, sensory neurons are stimulated again, triggering more oxytocin release from the posterior pituitary, enhancing contractions of the uterus. That means it is a positive feedback mechanism and it occurs during parturition. So Z is correct. So the correct answers are X and Z only. That means the correct answer is 5. Question number 28. It is based on the fifth lesson. Correct statement or statements regarding birth control methods is or are. Some oral contraceptives contain only high levels of synthetic progesterone. Yeah, that's true. Some oral contraceptives contain only high levels of synthetic progesterone, while most of the oral contraceptives contain high levels of both synthetic progesterone and synthetic estrogen. B. Condoms prevent sperm release. No, B is false. Condoms doesn't prevent sperm release. They prevent the entry of sperms into the female reproductive system. Therefore, B is false. C. Depo-provera injection does not prevent implantation. No, that is wrong. Depo-provera injection can prevent implantation. Depo-provera injection thickens cervical mucus and prevents sperm entry. If fertilization occurs, it prevents implantation by making the endometrium thin. Therefore, C is false. D. The LRT surgery prevents ovum from entering uterus. That's true. That's called laparoscopic tubal ligation. So it can prevent ovum from entering uterus. So accordingly, only A and D are correct. So the correct answer is 5. Question number 29. It is based on the fifth lesson. The incorrect statement regarding the human vertebral column is 1. Odontoid process is present in the axis vertebra. So this is the structure of the axis vertebra and the odontoid process is present in it. So the first statement is correct. Second one, atlas vertebra contain short transverse processes. So this is the structure of the atlas vertebra. So it has two short transverse processes. Therefore, second statement is also correct. Third one, thoracic vertebrae have larger spinous processes. No, the lumbar vertebrae have the largest spinous process. Therefore, third statement is false. 4. On each side, sacrum articulates with the pelvic girdle. So this is the structure of the sacrum. So the upper part of the sacrum articulates with the fifth lumbar vertebra, and on each side, the sacrum articulates with the pelvic girdle, and the inferior tip of the sacrum articulates with the coccyx. So therefore, statement 4 is true. 5. There are 8 foramina in the sacrum. So as you can see in the diagram, There are 4 on each side, and altogether there are 8 foramina in the sacrum. Therefore, statement 5 is also correct. So the incorrect statement is the third one. That means the correct answer is 3. Question number 30. It is based on the 6th lesson. Select the correct statement. Number 1. A heritable feature that varies among individuals of a population is called a trait. No. A heritable feature that varies among individuals of a population is called a character. Traits are the heritable variants of a character in an organism. Therefore, statement 1 is false. 2. Y chromosome carries a large number of genes other than those related to sex. No, the X chromosome carries a large number of genes other than those related to sex. Therefore, statement 2 is wrong. 3. Skin color in humans is determined by 3 genes. No, the skin color in humans is determined by several genes. So, therefore, 3 is wrong. 4. Many human traits follow Mendelian patterns of inheritance. That's true. 5. All the properties of garden pea plant could be used to study Mendelian patterns of inheritance. That is false. Only the properties that follow Mendelian patterns of inheritance can be used. So therefore, the correct statement is the fourth one. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 31. It is based on the 7th lesson. Which of the following is not a chromosomal mutation? So the chromosomal mutations can be mainly categorized into 2 types according to the alteration in chromosome structure and according to the alteration in chromosome number. So alteration in chromosome structure is categorized into 4 types. They are deletions, translocation, duplication, and inversion. And the alteration in chromosome number is categorized into 2 types, that is aneuploidy and polyploidy. In aneuploidy, the ploidy level doesn't change, but in polyploidy, the ploidy level changes. So accordingly, insertion is not a chromosomal mutation. So the correct answer is 3. Question number 32. It is based on the 7th lesson. What ISO are the phase of phases in cell division where non-disjunction can occur causing aneuploidy? What is non-disjunction? The inability to separate a pair or pairs of chromosomes in meiosis is called non-disjunction. So therefore, non-disjunction can occur in anaphase. That is anaphase 1 of meiosis and anaphase 2 of meiosis. So the correct phases are A and D. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 33. It is based on the 7th lesson. Select the answer that contains only enzymes contributing to eukaryotic DNA replication. So the enzymes contributing to eukaryotic DNA replication are topoisomerase, helicase, primase, DNA polymerase, and DNA ligase. So accordingly, when we consider the first answer, helicase, primase, DNA polymerase, all those 3 are enzymes used in eukaryotic DNA replication. Therefore, the first answer is correct. The second one, DNA ligase, it's an enzyme. Single-stranded binding proteins is a protein, so it's not an enzyme. Helicase is an enzyme, so the second answer is false. Third one, adenosine triphosphate, it's a nucleotide. Topoisomerase and DNA polymerase are enzymes. Therefore, third one is also wrong. Fourth one, topoisomerase, it's an enzyme. Deoxyribonuclease, it's an enzyme, but it's not used in DNA replication. And primase is an enzyme. Therefore, fourth one is also wrong. Fifth one, helicase, DNA ligase, both are enzymes. That DNA polymerase is an enzyme, but it is not used in eukaryotic DNA replication. It is used in prokaryotic DNA replication, especially in the bacterium called Thermus aquaticus. So therefore, the correct answer is the first one. Question number 34. It is based on the 8th lesson. Which of the following does not belong to the niche of an organism? So what is called the niche of an organism? A niche is the role that a particular organism plays in the ecosystem. In other words, niche is how an organism makes its living. This involves how the organism gets its energy, how the organism passes that energy through the ecosystem, how the organism interacts with other organisms, its role in recycling nutrients, and tolerance to environmental conditions such as temperature, soil moisture, etc. So let's consider these statements one by one. First one, its role in recycling nutrients, that belongs to the niche of an organism. How the organism gets its energy, it's correct. How the organism passes energy through the ecosystem, that's also correct. The ecosystem in which the organism lives, that doesn't belong to the niche of an organism. Then the fifth one, tolerance to environmental conditions, that also belongs to the niche of an organism. So the fourth one is the one that doesn't belong to the niche of an organism. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 35. It is based on the 8th lesson. Consider the following statements regarding plant diversity in biomes. A. Tropical dry forest. Shrubs with thorns and succulent plants often occur. A is correct. In tropical dry forest, we can find shrubs with thorns and succulent plants. Okay. So B, savanna or desert. Plants with thorns are found. Yes, B is correct. Plants with thorns are found in order to be protected from herbivores in savanna and to withstand high temperature and scarcity of water in deserts. C, chaparral. Woody deciduous plants that can survive in droughts are present. That is false because chaparral has tough evergreen woody plants to survive in droughts, not deciduous plants. D. Tundra. Shrubs, mosses, lichens, and epiphytes are found. That is false. Shrubs, mosses, lichens, and trees can be found in tundra. Epiphytes cannot be found in tundra. Therefore, D is false. So then only A and B are correct. So the correct answer is the third one. Question number 36, based on lesson 9. Select the incorrect statement regarding molecules. 1. They are prokaryotes included to domain bacteria. Yes, molecules are prokaryotes included in the domain bacteria, and they are considered special due to their absence of cell walls. Second one, both mycoplasma and phytoplasma reproduce by budding and binary fission. That is correct. They can both reproduce by budding and binary fission. Third one, mycoplasma produce spores. That is wrong. Mycoplasma do not produce spores. Therefore, third one is incorrect. 4. Mycoplasma cannot survive in limited organic conditions. That is correct. Mycoplasma require high amount of organic growth factors. 5. Phytoplasma reproduce within leaf coppers by which they are transmitted. Yes, phytoplasma can reproduce within leaf coppers or within plants. Therefore, 5 is correct. So the incorrect statement is the third one. So the correct answer is 3. Question number 37. It is based on the 9th lesson. What is the most correct answer out of the following? 1. In moist heat sterilization, microbial proteins are denatured due to high temperature. That is true, but there is a small problem there because in moist heat sterilization, both high temperature and high pressure are used. Therefore, microbial proteins are denatured due to both high temperature and high pressure. Second one, microorganisms are burned to ash during incineration. That's completely true. Third one, pores of membrane filters are from 0.1 micrometers to 0.45 micrometers. That is false because pores of membrane filters are from 0.01 micrometers to 0.45 micrometers, not 0.1 micrometers. Fourth one, endospores are not destroyed when sterilized by ethylene oxide. No, ethylene oxide kills both microorganisms and endospores. Therefore, fourth one is wrong. Fifth one, In LT-LT pasteurization, that means a low temperature, long time pasteurization, a temperature of 72 degrees Celsius is maintained for 30 minutes. That's false. In LT-LT pasteurization, temperature of 63 degrees Celsius is maintained for 30 minutes. But in HTST, that means high temperature, short time pasteurization, a temperature of 72 degrees Celsius is maintained for 15 seconds. Therefore, as they are asking for the most correct answer, out of 1 and 2, the most correct answer is the second. So the answer is 2. Question number 38. It is based on the ninth lesson. Which of the following contains a disinfectant and an antiseptic respectively? So in the research book, they have given 3 disinfectants: phenol, calcium hypochlorite, and sodium hypochlorite, and 3 antiseptics: ethanol, isopropanol, and chloroxylene. So when we consider the first answer, sodium hypochlorite is a disinfectant. Phenol is also a disinfectant. Therefore, first one is wrong. Second one, ethyl alcohol. It is also called ethanol. It is an antiseptic. Isopropanol is also an antiseptic. Therefore, second one is false. Third one, calcium hypochlorite. It's a disinfectant, and chloroxylenol is an antiseptic. Therefore, third one is correct. Phenol is a disinfectant, but benzene is not an antiseptic. It's carcinogen. So, therefore, fourth one is wrong. Fifth one, phenol is a disinfectant. Sodium hypochlorite is also a disinfectant. Therefore, fifth one is also wrong. So, the correct answer is the third one. Question number 39. It is based on the ninth lesson. Choose the false statement about nitrogen cycle. First one, more than 90% of organic nitrogen in soil exists as proteins. That is correct. Amino acids taken into soil microbes are subjected to ammonification within those microbial cells. That is true. Within those microbial cells, amino acids are converted into ammonia. So second one is correct. Third one, retaining of ammonia in soil produced during ammonification depends on the nature of soil. That is correct, because in moist soil, the produced ammonia is solubilized in water to form ammonium ions, while the ammonia in dry soil rapidly disappear into the atmosphere. Okay. Fourth one, Clostridium is a parasitic, anaerobic, free-living, nitrogen-fixing bacteria. That is also correct. Fifth one, aerobic nitrogen-fixing bacteria do not contain nitrogenous enzyme. That is false. For example, Azotobacter species is an aerobic nitrogen-fixing bacteria, and it has nitrogenous enzyme, and they exhibit different mechanisms to prevent the exposure of nitrogenous enzyme to the atmospheric oxygen. So they are asking for the first statement. The first statement is the fifth one, so the correct answer is 5. Question number 40. It is based on the 10th lesson. What are the observations that could be obtained when the light intensity received by an aquarium is lower and greater than the required amount respectively? So there are 3 different observations in an aquarium which is resulted due to 3 different causes. So if we observe the growth of green algae, that means the aquarium is receiving too much light. And if we observe the growth of brown algae, that means there is insufficient illumination. And if we observe the appearance of blue-green algal mats, that means there is a high level of organic pollution. So accordingly, when the light intensity received by an aquarium is lower, we can observe the growth of brown algae. And when the light intensity received is greater, we can observe the growth of green algae. So accordingly, the correct answer is the first one. Question number 41. It is based on the second lesson. Which of the following statements given below are true regarding different respiratory substrates? A. Respiratory quotients of Fats and proteins are 0.7 and 0.8 respectively. So the respiratory quotient values are as follows. For carbohydrates, it's 1.0, for fats, it's 0.7, and for proteins, it's 0.8. Therefore, A is correct. B. Amino acids can be converted to sugars. So according to this diagram, you can see amino acids can be converted to pyruvate. So pyruvate is a sugar. Therefore, B is correct. C. Fatty acids are subjected to cellular respiration by converting them into G3P. That is wrong. Fatty acids can be subjected to cellular respiration by converting them into acetyl CoA, but glycerol can be converted to G3P. Therefore, C is wrong. D. Amino acids enter citric acid cycle directly after deamination. So, according to the diagram, you can see amino acids can directly enter the citric acid cycle after deamination. So, that's correct. E. Some products of breakdown of fats might contribute in anaerobic respiration. That's correct. So as in the diagram, you can see during breakdown of fat, glycerol is converted to G3P and then into pyruvate. So pyruvate can be subjected to fermentation under anaerobic conditions. So some products of breakdown of fats might contribute in anaerobic respiration. So E is also correct. So the correct statements are A, B, D, and E. So the answer is 5. Question number 42. It is based on the second and third lessons. Common characteristics of domain archaea and domain eukarya are A. Presence of circular DNA. Yes, archaea carry circular DNA as genetic material, as well as circular DNA is present in the chloroplast and mitochondria of eukaryotes. Therefore, A is correct. B. Having polysaccharides in cell walls. So, the cell walls of archaea are made up of proteins and polysaccharides. Therefore, polysaccharides are present in the cell walls of archaea, as well as polysaccharides are present in the cell walls of eukaryotes, such as cellulose, hemicellulose, phytin. Therefore, B is correct. C. Ability to live in extreme environmental conditions. No, that is wrong because only archaea have the ability to live in extreme environmental conditions. Eukaryotes cannot live in extreme environmental conditions. Therefore, C is wrong. D. Presence of introns in genes. That is true. Introns are present in some genes of archaea and in many genes of eukaryotes. Therefore, D is correct. E. Sensitive to streptomycin. No, only bacteria are sensitive to antibiotics. Archaea and eukarya are not sensitive to antibiotics. For example, streptomycin, chloramphenicol. Therefore, E is wrong. So the correct statements are A, B, and D. So the correct answer is the first one. Question number 43. It is based on the fourth lesson. Select the response or responses which indicates different stress conditions and the respective responses shown by plants during those conditions. A. Drought stress, ABA synthesis. That's true. During drought stress, ABA is synthesized in the leaves and the roots of plants, and ABA act on guard cell membrane closing stomata to reduce transpiration. Therefore, A is correct. B. Biotic stress, altering the lipid composition of plasma membrane of plant cells. That is wrong because alteration of the lipid composition of plasma membrane of plant cells is due to cold stress, and cold stress is an abiotic stress. C. Cold stress, increase in the cytoplasmic levels of solutes like sugar. Yes, C is true. During cold stress, in order to reduce the water potential of the cell, they increase the cytoplasmic levels of solutes like sugars within the cell. So C is correct. D. Abiotic stress, secrete excess salts out of the plant across salt glands. Yes, that is true because secretion of excess salts out of the plant across salt glands is due to the salt stress. The soil stress is an abatic stress. Therefore, D is correct. E. Soil stress producing toxic compounds and alkaloids. No, toxic compounds and alkaloids are produced due to biotic stress. Soil stress is an abatic stress. Therefore, E is wrong. So the correct answers are A, C, and D. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 44. It is based on the fifth lesson. Select the correct statement or statements regarding hypertension and hypertension. A. Increased blood pressure than the normal level is called hypertension. No, that is wrong because this word is important. Sustained elevated blood pressure above normal limits is called hypertension. B. Consumption of salt and alcohol result in hypertension. No, that is false because high intake of salt and alcohol results in hypertension. C. Hypertension can be resulted due to mental stress. Yes, that is true. D. Both hypertension and hypertension could lead to death. Yes, that is true. In hypertension, due to kidney damage, adrenal gland disorders, heart attack, stroke, damaged blood vessels, and in hypertension, prolonged fainting can lead to death. Therefore, D is correct. E. Hypertension may cause damages to kidneys due to inadequate supply of blood. No, that is false. Hypertension may cause damages to kidneys. So the correct statements are only C and D. So the correct answer is 4. Question number 45. It is based on the fifth lesson. Component or components of fluid secreted by seminal vesicles is are. So the components of the fluid secreted by seminal vesicle are mucus, fructose, coagulating enzyme, ascorbic acid, and local regulators such as prostaglandins. So when we consider the answers, A is correct, mucus is correct, coagulating enzymes is correct. C, anticoagulant enzymes. It's a component of the fluid secreted by the prostate gland. Therefore, C is wrong. D, prostaglandins, that's correct. E, citrate, that's also a component of the fluid secreted by the prostate gland. Therefore, E is also wrong. So the correct answers are A, B, and D. That means the correct answer is 1. Question number 46. It is based on the sixth lesson. What are the conditions that can be resulted due to clumping and clogging of sickle cells in small blood vessels? So the symptoms of sickle cell disease are renal failure, heart failure, and thrombosis. So accordingly, A is correct, B is correct, C, D, and E are wrong. So only A and B are correct. So the correct answer is 3. Question number 47. It is based on the 7th lesson. What are the protocols or agreements followed in Sri Lanka to minimize the potential risk to the environmental system from modern gene technology? Convention on Biodiversity, Ramsar Convention, Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety, National Biosafety Framework of Sri Lanka, CITES, or Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. So let's consider these conventions or protocols one by one. Convention on Biodiversity addresses all aspects of biodiversity conservation. The Ramsar Convention. It provides the framework for the conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources. Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. It protects the biological diversity from potential risk caused by genetically modified organisms, that means GMOs, and living modified organisms, LMOs. It is in force in Sri Lanka from July 2004. So Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety is a protocol followed in Sri Lanka to minimize the potential risk to the environmental system from modern gene technology. Therefore, C is correct. D. National Biosafety Framework of Sri Lanka. Based on a precautionary approach in accordance with Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. That means D is also correct. It's also a protocol uh, related to protecting the environment from modern gene technology. E. CITES. To ensure that international trade of specimens such as horns and skins of wild animals and whole plant or parts of plant does not threaten their survival. So when you consider these answers, only C and D are the protocols related to protecting the environment from modern gene technology. So therefore, the correct answer is 4. Question number 48. It is based on the 8th lesson. Choose the correct statements about the ozone layer. A. Depletion of ozone layer reduces the carbon dioxide fixing capacity of the ocean. That is correct. Let's see how that happens. Depletion of ozone layer will increase the penetration of solar UVB radiation. UVB radiation directly destroys phytoplankton, which form the foundation of aquatic food webs in the sea. Therefore, it reduces the carbon dioxide fixing capacity of the ocean. Therefore, A is correct. B. The overall concentration of ozone in the stratosphere is 300 to 450 DU. That is wrong because it should be 300 to 350 DU, not 450. Therefore, B is false. C. Thinning of ozone layer refers to as ozone hole. That is correct. D. Ozone layer depletion will increase the penetration of solar UVB rays through the atmosphere. D is also correct. E. CFCs, helium, HCFC, and methyl bromide directly involved in ozone depletion. No, they do not directly involve in ozone depletion because chlorine and bromine released from CFC, methyl bromide, helium, and HCFC contribute to ozone layer depletion. Therefore, only A, C, and D are correct. So the correct answer is 2. Question number 49. It is based on the 9th lesson. What are the microbial species that cause bacterial meningitis? So according to the table, you can see bacterial meningitis is caused by 3 types of microorganisms: Streptococcus pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza, and Neisseria meningitis. So when we consider the answers, A. Streptomyces griseus, that's wrong. B. Streptococcus pyogenes, that's wrong. Streptococcus pyogenes cause rheumatic fever. C. Haemophilus influenza, that's correct. Neisseria meningitis, D, that's correct. And E. Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus cause food poisoning. Therefore, E is also wrong. So the correct answers are will be C and D. So the correct answer is 4. Let's move on to the last question. Question number 50. It is based on the 10th lesson. What are the methods used in preservation of meat? A. Dry. So the food items that can be preserved by drying are grains and meat, especially hams. Therefore, A is correct. B. Salting. Yes, meat can be preserved by salting. Therefore, B is correct. C. Addition of sugar. No, meat cannot be preserved by adding sugar. So fruits, ginger, and orange peel can be preserved by adding sugar. Therefore, C is wrong. D. Use of radiation. So the food items that can be preserved by the use of radiation are packets of spices and ground meat. So yes, ground meat can be preserved by the use of radiation. Therefore, D is also correct. E. Pasteurization. No, meat cannot be preserved by using pasteurization. Therefore, E is also wrong. So meat can be preserved using drying, salting, and by the use of radiation. Therefore, the correct answers are A, B, and D. So the correct answer is the first one. Thank you all for joining this discussion and study hard and wish you all the very best for your A-level examination in the near future.